Welcome to the Explainer, 8th graders. Have you ever sat through a school play or a skit and it just felt, well, a bit awkward? You know exactly the feeling I'm talking about. The actors are up there reciting lines perfectly from memory, but they sound like flat, boring robots. Nobody is moving naturally, the energy is completely dead, and you find yourself counting the tiles on the ceiling instead of actually watching the story. Well, today we are going to fix exactly that. We're going to unpack the powerful mechanics behind turning raw, lifeless words on a page into a dynamic, purposeful performance.
To really anchor everything we're doing today, we have to look at our intention first. The scripture tells us in Colossians 3:23, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart." So the crucial point is that raw words on a script are completely useless without your heart and your effort behind them. A script isn't a play, it's just a map. It takes your absolute wholehearted dedication during rehearsal to actually build the world and make those lines come alive.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our exact roadmap for today. We'll start with the heart of rehearsal, then move into table work. For step 3, we're getting on our feet for blocking. Step 4, we'll polish our voice, and finally, step 5, developing smart minds and moral hearts. Let's get started. Starting us off with section 1, the heart of rehearsal. Listen, drama is essentially a massive group art project, and a polished scene requires shared intention between you and your scene partners. You have to learn how to give focus, take focus, nail your cues, and actually support the creative choices of the people acting alongside you. Think of it this way: strong performance grows from strong rehearsal, period. Rehearsal is the laboratory where a script becomes a live, breathing moment. If you skip this, if you just try to wing it on performance day, you're going to completely miss the why behind every single line. You'll just be an empty shell saying words without purpose. And trust me, the audience, they always know. Moving on to section 2, table work, or finding your why. This is the very first physical step of any real practical rehearsal process. You don't just jump right onto the stage. You sit down at a table, script in hand, and start reading aloud. You literally take a pencil and you circle the action verbs in your script. Why? Because acting is doing. You have to find out what your character is actively doing in the scene, which leads us directly to your objective. An objective is simply what a character wants right now in this exact moment. Put yourself in your character's shoes for a second. Do you want to escape the room? Do you want an apology from a friend? Do you want to hide a massive secret? If you step onto that stage and you don't know your specific objective, your performance will completely fall flat. You have to want something desperately. Now, as you read through the scene, you'll probably notice that what your character wants might slightly change, or the topic of conversation might shift. We call these shifts beats. A beat is just a small unit of action within a scene. Breaking a massive, intimidating script down into these smaller, bite-sized beats completely prevents those robotic, monotone line readings we talked about earlier. It gives your performance a natural human rhythm. So how do you actually achieve your objective within a beat? You use a tactic. A tactic is how you try to get what you want. Do you try to charm the other person? Do you threaten them? Do you plead with them? And this brilliantly illustrates why great acting feels so electric. Because if pleading doesn't work, your character might instantly pivot to threatening. Mixing up your tactics brings immediate, thrilling life to a scene, because the audience is watching you actively strategize in real time. All right, time to get on our feet for section 3, blocking, which is all about motivated movement. When we finally get on our feet, every single physical movement means something. Where you stand, where you sit, who's higher, who's lower, it all reveals the invisible relationships and the silent power shifts happening between the characters. This is the exact difference between aimless movement and motivated movement. Aimless movement is an actor thinking, well, I've been standing here a while, I guess I'll just walk over there. No, that's incredibly distracting. Motivated movement is thinking, I am crossing the stage right now because my partner just insulted me and I desperately need emotional distance. See the difference there? A sudden step forward can boldly challenge someone, while simply turning your back on them can deeply wound them without you ever having to say a single word. Every step must have a reason. Next up is section 4, voice, focusing on pacing and pauses. Now we add the final polish. Once your heart is in the right place, your mind understands the scene, and your body knows where to move, you have to ensure the audience can actually feel the meaning of your words. And that comes down to dynamic vocal delivery. We're talking about projection, which means filling the entire room with your sound without screaming or straining your vocal cords. We're talking about diction, hitting those crisp consonants so people can actually understand you. But most importantly, pacing and pauses. I mean, I can speed my words right up to show you my character is totally panicking or just bursting with excitement. Or I can slow things way, way down to prove that I am dead serious. And then, if you just stop, a strategic beat of silence can say as much as an entire monologue. Now, what's really interesting here is how these elements actually work in famous plays. Take the classic Our Town. The blocking choice there is having two characters start far apart and slowly drifting closer together as they become more honest. The audience physically sees the emotional connection growing. In Julius Caesar, Mark Antony's tactic isn't to yell at the crowd. He needles them with irony, shifting his tactics beat by beat until the audience is completely persuaded. And in The Glass Menagerie, the actor drops his voice to an absolute hush on key lines, pulling the audience right into his memory. Blocking, tactics, and voice manipulate audience emotion beautifully. So let's bring it all together. Here is your ultimate rehearsal plan. How do you take these concepts out of this explainer and actually use them in your drama homework? Well, you need a reliable roadmap. You need a structured rehearsal plan that you can run through every single time you are handed a new script. Here is your master plan for any two-person scene. Step 1. Do your table work and circle those action verbs. Step 2. Define your specific objectives and tactics for every single beat. Step 3. Get on your feet and plan motivated blocking. No aimless wandering allowed. Step 4. Layer in your voice, playing with volume, pacing, and those powerful pauses. And Step 5. Put it all together and polish that shared timing with your partner. If you follow these 5 steps, you will literally never deliver a flat, boring performance again. Let's move to our final section and see how this builds into something even bigger. Smart minds, moral hearts. Everything we do here at Hero Smart Academy ties back to who you are becoming as a person. We've spent time on the mechanics of stage performance, but what about the ultimate performance? What about your actual life? The Godly Learner series philosophy intertwines biblical morality directly with your education for one incredibly simple reason. Education without morality will hurt. Think about it. What is the absolute point of being the smartest, most highly educated person in the room if you just continually make bad, selfish choices that hurt yourself and the people around you? Being smart is simply not enough if your heart isn't aligned with goodness. Just like raw acting talent needs the discipline and structure of a good rehearsal to actually be impactful, your raw intelligence and education need the structure of biblical morality to find true peace and purpose. Romans 8:6-7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their minds spiritual. And really, that is our ultimate goal for you. A brilliant mind, absolutely, but guided by a spiritual moral compass that brings real peace to you and your community. So, I want to leave you with this question. How are you purposefully applying your education and biblical morality to the daily scenes of your real life? Think about every interaction you have with your friends, your family, your teachers. Those are your scenes. Are you just walking through them aimlessly, or are you living purposefully with a godly intention, working at it with all your heart? Take these lessons, sure, use them on the stage, but more importantly, use them in your life.